Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video here today and some more F1 My Team career mode. Today we are here for the Monaco Grand Prix, of course, the jewel in the crown of the F1 calendar, and probably the most impressive qualifying session of the year, I've got to say. This one is all about qualifying for me and nailing that perfect lap, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But guys, first of all, as always, I've got to get the plug out of the way. If you missed the last episode at Spain, I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen. And also one last plug, if you're going to enjoy the video, hit that like button guys for the Monaco Grand Prix and subscribe for more daily F1 content like this, and let's get today's episode underway. Here we go then, jumping into the race weekend. First of all, we look at the weather forecast, which is going to be dry this weekend. We then look at the R&D graph, and history has been made. For the very first time in this My Team career mode in Season 3, we are the top team of the chart. We overtake Mercedes, as this race we had a major and an ultimate upgrade onto the car, and we've also got another ultimate upgrade on the way for the engine power. So we've put in the work and it's paid off. We've overtaken Mercedes and we are officially the fastest team in Formula 1 heading into the Monaco Grand Prix, which is naturally one of our stronger tracks anyway. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and I can't wait to drive the car around here as we hit the track for practice for FP1 for the first time this weekend. Now, straight away I could notice the car was really stable and it felt great, really competitive. Both myself and Daniel Ricciardo lockout practice, and we went quickest of all. We went P1, and Ricciardo actually had some pretty good pace. In fairness, we scored over 1,000 R&D points once again, and things are looking very promising heading into qualifying, guys, because we've got a really strong package, a strong teammate, and the car is also very reliable and consistent. So we've got a lot of reasons to feel positive after practice. You can see also in terms of acclaim, we're slowly leveling up now, but there's not really much more to fight for. We've already got the quickest car. Most of our facilities are level 3, but with that we move into qualifying, and it didn't actually get off to the best start it could have possibly done.
Someone's noticed a leak in one of the coolant lines, so we're patching that up as we speak. Hold tight for now until we've checked everything over.
So that wasn't ideal in terms of starting qualifying, but nonetheless I knew we had the pace, so it wasn't too much of a concern. It just meant I had to kind of go a bit quicker than I would have liked and take a slight bit more risk in Q1 than I would have liked, because of course we only had one run less to do, so I had to make sure we maximised this run, and to be fair, it was more than good enough. We had a really strong car, and you'll see now we cross the line, we go P1, fastest of anybody, and straight away into the 1 minute 7.7s, which is a very strong lap. Eventually at the end of Q1, Bottas went quickest with the 1 minute 6.7, so a full second quicker than us. Ricciardo P5, so we're both through into Q2. A couple of those lap times were glitched due to time simulation, but nonetheless we moved to Q2, and I'm going to try my luck on the medium tyres. So we're going to see if this works out for us. As we exit the final corner, we're going to go for a full lap of Monaco, and I'm going to walk you guys through it. So first of all, into turn 1, very easy to clip the wall on the outside on entry, so make sure you don't bring the car too far to the left. Use a lot of the inside curb on this game as we now make our way up towards turn 4 at Massenet, trying to keep the car nice and tight to open up the right-hander of Casino, and now down the hill towards Mirabeau. First gear, try and keep the car nice and tight to the right-hand side as there's a bit of camber there, then down to the Fairmont hairpin or the Lowe's hairpin. Make sure you touch the inside curb to give you some extra rotation. Shout out to Limitless, and then making our way down through Portier. Very easy through here to lose the back end, so try and be patient on the traction out there as we now make our way through the tunnel. And now you're spotting just about after the 100 meter board, down to second gear for the Nouvelle Chicane, flick the car in left and right, quickly back on the gas with a short shift on the exit, and now into to back, my favourite corner on the track, throwing the car in, bit loose there, bit of oversteer mid-corner, we just about catch it and avoid the barrier, throwing the car in through the swimming pool section. The car is absolutely glued to the track as we now make our way through Raskas. First gear, quickly back up to second, and then third on the exit of the final corner, opening the DRS, and that is going to be a lap of Monaco. The question is it quick enough? Yes, it is. P1 and fastest once again, 1 minute 7.6, so we actually go just under a tenth quicker than our Q1 time on mediums, and that was enough to get us into Q3, and we are the only car going for the medium tyres, so very interesting there. We've got a bit of an offset on strategy. Bottas quickest once again, 1 minute 7.1, so he's actually 2 tenths slower and he was in Q1. That's partly down to the time simulation glitch that I mentioned before. But with that said, we moved to Q3, and this time we are going to get 2 runs on soft tyres. But my first one wasn't the best as we hit the wall and lose our front wing, a very red-coloured front wing for some reason. And that kind of gave me a bit of a setback because we lost our first run. It was actually a really good lap, but we had to throw it away. So it's all or nothing for this lap. And this one, I'm going to let you guys enjoy the engine sound. So let's go for another lap of Monaco. And there it is, across the line, P1, once again, 1 minute 6.6, a very, very strong lap, the fastest one of the weekend, and we absolutely dominate in Q3 to secure pole position for the Monaco Grand Prix. But not just that, it's a 1-2 for the 97 Martini Racing team, and Red Bull lock out the second row. Albon and Verstappen third and fourth. Mercedes only manage P5 with Bottas and P8 with Hamilton, and a very poor and scrappy session from them. Bottas a 1 minute 7.7, considering he did a 106.7 in Q1. That was a very, very poor lap from him, and he should have been P2 on the grid. And also Hamilton a 1 minute 8 from him. Very surprising from the world champion, and you know, very, very weird lap times there, I've got to say. You know, I'm not going to complain. We'll take it. It's a 1-2 for us, and it's a Red Bull locking out the second row. So it means Mercedes are nowhere near us, which is going to be massive for the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships, because, of course, in the last race, guys, we took the lead in the Drivers' Championship, and we're only, I believe, 10 points behind Mercedes in the Constructors. So this could be a massive race for us. Also, keep in mind, we are starting on the mediums as well. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be a very, very fun race, and I can't wait to get things started, guys. But either way, that is it for qualifying here at Monaco. We're now going to move into an interview.
It's always good to qualify at the front, isn't it?
Of course, especially, you know, around here, but we've put the work in, and it's really good to see it all pay off because we tried so hard.
There's quite a buzz around this team at the moment. What are your thoughts on them?
I mean, I'm guessing if there's a buzz, then they're doing something well, but, you know, this year I think a lot of teams are pushing hard, so I'm not really surprised.
Great. Well, that's everything.
And after qualifying, we look at the rivalry breakdown, and of course my new rival is the world champion, Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion. We're going to see if we can try and beat him. I did choose him as my rival because I knew it was Monaco coming up, and I had a chance of getting an early lead in the rivalry. And, you know, also he's probably going to be my direct title rival as well. So 2 birds in 1 stone, and also in terms of team acclaim, some small gains all round. But that is it for qualifying, a flawless session. We now move into the race for the Monaco Grand Prix.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend downwards towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners at Saint-Devote, and don't expect to see much overtaking here today. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Let's talk about Martinez. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs, so it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Martinez lines up on pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo. A strong showing from the Australian. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, and Leclerc, Gasly, Hamilton, Vettel, and Nick de Vries, Aitken, Perez, Lando Norris, and Ocon, Sainz, Giovinazzi, Daniel Kvyat, and Roman Grosjean, Russell, Magnussen, Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Well guys, here we go. It's time for the Monaco Grand Prix, starting of course from pole position after qualifying. And the difference is we start on the mediums compared to everybody else behind us who is on the soft tyres. So I am expecting to have a slight disadvantage in the first couple of laps, but hopefully we'll start to settle into the race and show our true race pace. The real concern is the start. Now, because we're on a slower tyre, I feel like Ricciardo could potentially overtake us off the line on the soft tyres, which to be fair, wouldn't be the worst thing. I wouldn't be totally against it because I feel like the nature of the way this race works, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to let Ricciardo go by and let him pull out a gap, because if he gets stuck in traffic and he pits, it's going to ruin his race and he'll probably finish P10 for example. So those who start on the soft tyres tend to be quite screwed around here in terms of the way the game works, in terms of strategy. So I'm not quite sure what to do. Strategy-wise, though, we're going to start, of course, on the mediums and move on to the hard tyres, possibly the softs. It depends how the mediums go for us and if they last long enough. So let's see how it goes. No rain expected. And fuel-wise, I've underfueled by 3 laps because fuel is very easy to save around here, and you don't really need that much anyway. So hopefully it's a good race and we can try and pick up yet another race win. But without further ado, let's jump into the race here for the Monaco Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's see if we can get a good start on these tyres as we get ready for the 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. Bit of wheel spin there, but a nice clean start. No need for the overtake button. Now we can use that out of turn 1. So that's the main thing I was worried about. We've survived the start, which is very important. Now we're going to see if we have any kind of pace in these tyres, and we can try and set some early race pace and hopefully, you know, stay in the lead and potentially pull away. To be fair, the quicker I go, the easier it will be for Ricciardo to open up a gap as well. So realistically, we need to establish some early pace here. So hopefully we can try and do that, and Ricciardo can follow us, because the quicker we go and the more Ricciardo follows me, the better it will be for Ricciardo's race, because he's going to have to pit around lap 9, I believe, off of those soft tyres, and we need to try and build as much of a gap as possible to the midfield. So let's push. Here we go then, end of lap 2, setting some good early pace. Ricciardo already over a second behind, but also Ricciardo's got a 1.5 gap to Verstappen.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Yep, DRS enabled now, but it's not going to matter too much. But the good thing is, though, Ricciardo seems to have pace, so let's see if we can keep pushing here, and Ricciardo will hopefully follow us, and he'll keep building that gap to Verstappen, which is now nearly 2 seconds to be fair, which is exactly what we need. Another fastest lap, just keeping that pace going. To be fair, these laps right now could be the fastest laps come the end of the race, to be honest, so it's important to make sure these laps are strong. Ricciardo now 2 seconds clear of Verstappen. This is exactly what we need. Hopefully he can keep getting that gap up lap by lap. Tyre wear starting to happen now. Ricciardo's dropping back quite a bit, and so are the cars behind, but crucially, Ricciardo's still pushing and his gap is still going up to the cars behind, which is very important. Hopefully Danny can prolong his stint as long as possible. That would really help us out. Our pace has dropped off now. I'm kind of cruising a little bit, trying to save a bit of fuel, and as a consequence, we're nearly a second off our personal best. We're still running at a strong enough pace to, you know, be comfortably out front. I'm still pulling away from the cars behind, but I'm trying to see if I can get that fuel down a little bit now and a bit more on target as the laps now progress. Gap to Ricciardo now nearly 10 seconds. Still no pit stops, no movement from the guys behind, which of course is good for Ricciardo in terms of him consistently pulling a gap now, which is 5.6 seconds to Verstappen. I was hoping it had been a little bit more than that, but still, it's good to see Ricciardo doing a good job of getting that gap out as much as possible. Hopefully, there's one last push in there before they pit for tyres. And there we go, Ricciardo pits.
Daniel's in the pits.
We're going to see where he rejoins. Albon pit, I believe, on that last lap, so Gasly's P5. And Ricciardo had about 15 seconds over him, so that's quite encouraging. Verstappen pits as well. Let's just see where Ricciardo goes. He's going to go into the medium tyres, so I think he may have to stop again. That looks a bit early for mediums to me, but I could be wrong. Let's see where Ricciardo is, though, if he rejoins. Looking good at the minute. Still P3 for Ricciardo, and there we go. He's rejoined P3, so that's good news. he's not going to get caught out in that medium tyre runner traffic, which the first car is Aiken. So happy days, and that has worked out beautifully. Ricciardo running at a good enough pace to clear himself, so he should hopefully still be net P2 once this is all over. Bottas pits, and with that Ricciardo moves back up to second place. I think he's going to have to stop again. I mean, that's a long way to go on mediums, but I could be wrong. Okay, here we go. We're going to pit this lap. It's time for our first stop in this race. It's been a very good first stint, very consistent. These tyres are starting to go though. Even though the tyre wear is not that high, I'm happy to pit and go for the hard tyres. We could have maybe gone for the softs and stretched it, but I'm not sure if I would have stayed ahead of Ricciardo, so this is more of a precaution really to hold on to track position and stay ahead of my teammates. So it should be okay. We also were approaching some traffic, so this pit stop is perfect for us in terms of timing.
Go now.
Good stop, 2.1. I also requested a front wing change if necessary, but luckily we don't have any invisible damage.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Because sometimes you do get damage even though you don't see it, or it doesn't really appear too much on the MFD. So there we go, job done. Onto the hard tyres. We've got 7.6 seconds over Ricciardo, make it 7 now as the gap's still coming down a little bit. But when I go to the end on these, no issues. I'm still not convinced if the guys behind are going to go to the finish on those mediums. They probably will, but still, we've got track position now, that's all that matters. So it's all about switching these tyres on, and hopefully by the end of the race we should have a big advantage on tyre wear and tyre life compared to everyone around us. So we should be quicker at the end of the race. So yeah, job done. We've also saved up all of our fuel, so we can now just cruise to the finish and stay on target and hopefully pick up another race win. Okay, we're approaching some lap traffic. We've got a few cars in the pit lane as well, actually. Magnussen up to P5 now. I believe Albon has just pit for a second time this race. Looks like we're going to clear one of the Williams in the pit lane, which is good. Let's see if we can get past the second Williams here, hopefully. Fingers crossed he stays to one side. Come on, Williams, move out of the way, please. This is going to get dirty, and I don't like it. Come on, please move, please. There we go. That was not ideal, but we're through anyways. A lot of traffic coming up, to be fair. Looking at the mini-map, that's not going to help either. Okay, this isn't good. We're approaching a huge train of cars here. 2 AlphaTauris, 2 Haas cars, a McLaren and a Racing Point. Let's hope we can clear this quite quickly and get us out of the way. The first AlphaTauri should pull over here to the right-hand side. There we go. That's one down. That's Lance Stroll, I believe. Still got a long way to go, though. A lot of traffic to clear. Okay, second AlphaTauri. Let's see where this one gets out of the way. Looks like it's going to be out the final corner. Yep, there we go. Another car down. Got a long way to go though. Just got to be careful with this traffic. Not sure why the AlphaTauri is competing with me on the straight there. Wing damage for that AlphaTauri of Kvyat, I'm guessing. I'm not quite sure though why he's trying to challenge me. I don't understand it. This is why I'm very edgy about AI around, especially around Monaco. They don't behave right. Now we've got to clear this Haas. Let's see if he moves out of the way. Yes, he does. That's Romain Grosjean. Nice bit of French accent there. Another car, this time Racing Point. Let's see if he also behaves. Hopefully he doesn't challenge me into turn 1. That's Kevin Magnussen. Looks like we're just going to squeeze him off there, just to make sure he doesn't go for any stupid challenges into the first corner. 2 more cars to go, McLaren and the Haas, and then hopefully we'll be free into some clean air momentarily before we hit some more traffic, which I know is further down the road. So that's going to be the survival now in the second part of the race, avoiding traffic and keeping things clean. But here we go behind the McLaren. I think that's Carlos Sainz, it looks like. Looking at the number on the shark fin, 55, I see. Let's see if we can clear Carlos. Hopefully he'll get away on the tunnel as always, like the previous cars. Just pull over to the right, please. Thank you very much. Always scared of them brake checking as well and losing a bit of my wing. That would be an absolute disaster around here. But there we go, we're done. And the last but certainly not least, Antonio Giovinazzi actually got away quite easily for me, to be fair, before the pit straight for a change. So we're going to get a clean run down to the first corner. There we go, job done. Here we go, another car, this time the Racing Point. Sergio Perez out of the way. Another one down. Luckily he wasn't too much of an issue to get by, which was good. Ricciardo now dropping off quite a lot as he's now starting to go through that traffic I just overtook. So the gap's going to start going up quite a lot here, I think. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Easy, easy, easy. Let's not push too much. That was a bit scary there. To be fair, I wasn't giving it that much gas, but Clearly the tyres there, just losing a bit of grip. Either way, we managed to survive, but that was a scary slide through the exit of Casino. Right, let's see if these guys get out of the way. First of all, the Renault. There we go. Esteban Ocon will get out of the way nicely for us as we go through. Now we've got to get rid of this Alfa Romeo, which hopefully will get out of the way quite soon as well. And then I think we will have a bit more clean air. The main bit of the traffic I think is done. There was that little pack of 6 cars further back. As there goes the Alfa out of the way, and job done. At the final corner, we are going to set a new fastest lap. Just a small improvement. I was just trying to see if I could achieve that, to be fair. And there's not much more grip on these tyres. They're not a great race tyre. So I think that hopefully will suffice for a fastest lap. If not, then so be it. But for now, the main thing this race is that it's a 1-2 for us. As we enter the final 10 laps now of the race. More traffic. This time it's Mr. Last Lap Lando and an Alfa Romeo up the road. Let's see if we can get past Lando first. And McLaren will give him a squeeze to avoid him going side by side with us into the first corner, which we want to avoid. And hopefully we'll get the Alfa probably out of the exit of the tunnel. Or not. He's going to get out of the way here instead. I just caught up massively through 4 and 5. Oh my goodness me. The Alfa almost diving it down my inside. And now these two are side by side. I'm just going to let them do battle and try and pull away and let them do their thing. Here we go then, making our way into Sector 3. And it's been an absolute landslide of one-way traffic performance here today. We've dominated, and it's going to be a well-deserved race win. And to be fair, after a podium in the last race, after a poor qualifying, this is exactly what we need. And we are going to extend our championship lead as we come through to win the Monaco Grand Prix. Yes!
Great job. You've done everything we wanted today.
That's it then for another nail-biting Monaco Grand Prix. We were on the edge of our seats the whole time, but they've come through to take a stunning victory. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
Well then guys, there we go. History has been made. For the first time in this career mode, we win the Monaco Grand Prix. We missed out the previous 2 seasons, but for the first time now in Season 3, we pick up the W. And not just the W, it's also our first ever 1-2 finish. It's a really, really historic episode, guys, because we are now the fastest team in F1. We've won at Monaco. We have our first ever 1-2, and also we lead the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships, guys. It's such a big episode, and I'm so happy about it. But first of all, looking at the final results, of course, we pick up the win and the fastest lap as well. So it's a grand slam for us, pole, fastest lap and race win, which that could also be the first time that's also happened, to be fair. So even more reasons to celebrate after this episode. Ricciardo second, Verstappen rounds off the podium, Bottas only P4 ahead of Alexander Albon and Pierre Gasly. Hamilton only manages P7 here today ahead of Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel, with Lando Norris scoring the final point, and he was the first of the lap cars as everyone else after him finished a lap down, as you can see. And for once, no retirements in this race as we then move into the driver's standings, and you can see the gap we have now, 24 points over Lewis Hamilton, is exactly what the doctor ordered. Ricciardo, to be fair, only 8 points behind Bottas and 23 points behind Lewis Hamilton. So hopefully Ricciardo can try and get a few races under his belt and some more strong performances. That's 2 or maybe even 3 podiums in a row for Ricciardo now. So he's starting to do pretty well, and hopefully more of those results will mean he can also climb up the championship order and get closer to me. We then look at the Constructors, and as you can see, confirmation that we take the lead for the first time ever as we are ahead of Mercedes by 16 points after today's race, guys. But that is it for me here today at Monaco, guys. An absolutely historic episode. We're now going to move into the laptop and put some more upgrades on for the near future.
Your team secured the top 2 positions. Is it safe to say you're a winning combination?
You could say that. I think we've been meaning to do that since the start of the year. We've maybe at some races not quite had the pace, but the plan this season was to, sign Daniel as a driver and for us to work together, because we knew we had a lot of things up our sleeve and we had big plans this year. So, I think it's a great combination between the two of us. It really is.
Things are looking up after last week, aren't they?
For sure. I mean, the last race was P3. We lacked a bit of pace, at least on my car. But still, it's a double podium again. And it's just great to see, we can just drive the car flat out and the car has no issues, which is brilliant. So that really helps.
Your teammate is up on the podium today. This is a great thing for the team, isn't it?
Of course. This is what we want. And I think Daniel's had 3 podiums now in a row. So yeah, it's great. It's really, really good. And we've all been working towards this so hard.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
A couple of times I had a few moments. I think at the end on the mediums I struggled a bit. And also on the hards at times. But generally I didn't think it was too bad.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Okay, so after that race, looking at the rivalry breakdown, we outscore Lewis Hamilton quite comfortably and we develop a very early lead over him in the rivalry between us. Also, some pretty big gains in the acclaim. We somehow don't quite manage to go up to level 17. It looks like we just fall short, so hopefully we will achieve that in the next episode, in the next race. But finally, before we wrap things up, you can see on screen all the cash bonuses as we hit all of our targets, which is great. And some small damage deductions, of course, due to my issues in qualifying. But generally speaking, a great weekend. And we're now back over $10 million worth of cash. Well, then the next race is going to be Azerbaijan. Now, as you guys know, we do have an ultimate engine upgrade in the works, but first of all, we can throw on a lot of activities. So we've got quite a few here, quite a few different ones. First of all, though, a funded team event. I feel like that's going to be good for the team to improve morale after that double podium. We also have a supplier HQ tour, which is pretty decent, so that's going to give us a couple extra resource points and some team acclaim. And then we've got 3 more days left over, which we're going to use on race simulations for Daniel Ricciardo to hopefully, again, improve his pace and hopefully he gets closer to the top of F1 and also closer to some wins. But we then move over to the R&D tab. We've got 2,200 points and there is the ultimate engine upgrade that we've got on the way, and fingers crossed that will arrive before Baku, but we're going to add some more. So looking at our options, the car looks a little bit unbalanced here on the aerodynamics, so we are going to go for this rear diffuser aerodynamic upgrade, so we're going to throw that on as well. It's only a minor one and I'm going to try and rush it because it's not too expensive, so if we do get that in time before Azerbaijan, that's going to help us out a lot. So let's scroll over then to the calendar and let's move ahead and let's see if we get our upgrades arrive in time. We've also got an exhaust upgrade I can see there on the 29th, so I'm guessing that's the engine one, so let's see if that arrives. Well, we've had an absolute result. First of all, the engine upgrade, of course, the ultimate one for the engine power has arrived and we've gone straight to the top of the charts on the engine. We went from mid-table to the very top with just one upgrade, and then also on the aero, the upgrade that we rushed did arrive as well, so we are back on top on the aerodynamics, and of course on the chassis we are top anyway, so we are the best team in all 3 major departments. Of course, the durability though needs some work. Now, we are going to start focusing some of our work in this area, so I'm actually going to buy an upgrade right now for this. I feel like we need to improve. We have got the control electronics maxed out, but I'm going to buy some more, and the first one I want to try and do is an energy store upgrade, because we've only got 2 of these all season long, so we are going to purchase an energy store upgrade. No rush in terms of when that arrives, hopefully that will arrive soon nonetheless, and then hopefully the next one I'm kind of keen to add on is probably an ICE durability upgrade, so we'll hopefully do a few of those in the upcoming races, because of course we are top in every other department now, so it's a good chance for us to work on some durability and make the car a bit more reliable. But guys, that is going to be it for the episode here today for the Monaco Grand Prix. History in every sense of the word, in all aspects here today, and a really, really good episode. If you guys enjoyed it and you appreciate the episode, then hit the like button. Let's see if we can try and smash 1,000 likes, guys, for today's video. And also subscribe if you are new for daily F1 content on the channel. Also, finally, check out the 2 videos on your screen right now if you have missed them, including the previous episode. And I'll see you all next time for the next race in Azerbaijan. But until then, guys, take care, and it's goodbye from me.